Welcome to another MakerCut video where today we're going to talk about arrays. Before that though, take a moment to subscribe if you haven't already and click the bell to be notified when we'll post another video. So we have Autolaser 2.3.5 open. We're connected to our machine. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by drawing a squarish rectangle. Going to come over here to array, and we're going to change the number of x that we want to 4, and we're going to change the y to 3. So now we have 4 by 3 array. So there's 12 blocks there. Now we can send these directly to vector, or what I prefer to do is put in some spacing in between these. And so now we have a grid of 12 blocks, 4 on the x-axis, 3 on the y-axis, and we can take this straight to a vector. So now we have, and I don't know why it says this, 1 row and 2 columns. But what we can do is we're going to expand this out with nesting with the interval still at 5. So now we have 2 across and 2 down. That's the amount that will actually fit on our table, which is 900 by 600 with an interval of 5 millimeter. So you can see the layout results are we have 2 columns, 2 rows, and 2 columns. So now let's get rid of that. Terrible that I select all these, get rid of those. We'll draw another square. And now what we'll do is we're going to nest this box right here across this size automatically. So now you can see we have 5 rows. Each one of these is a row, and each one of these is a column. So unlike this where it says X and Y, this is Y. So 5 is Y, 7 is X. They're reversed, but it's annoying. But it does tell you the size, total size of the units that you have here. Then you can vectorize them, and now we have a whole bunch of individual squares. And I say that because I can go through and select each one. I can go through and delete one. I can go through delete just random, but they're all individual. So let's delete these, and it works with any shape. So I'm going to draw an oval. We're going to put some text in here. Yeah, we'll just go with that. We grab that, we're going to stretch that out. We're going to group those together. So now those are all one item. Yes, I know it's offset. So now we can either specify that we want 5 across and 4 down. You can add those to vector. Now see, each one of these is individual. Each one of the letters, each one of the ovals, everything is an individual. Now, you ask, well, what happened to our grouping? Well, that went away when we got rid of the first original unit. So these are grouped together again. We can do that with each individual one. But what I am going to do is I'm going to delete these, delete these, delete these. We're going to pick that again. So now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. We want a interval of 1 millimeter, and we want it on automatic. Alright, so now we have 4 rows, 16 columns. And you can see that they're interlaced together. Now if I zoom in on this, there is 1 millimeter between those two items. And that allows you to vectorize them. So now I have a whole bunch of these. If I had a piece of acrylic that was larger than 885.4 millimeters by 570 millimeters and a half, I could cut all these out or engrave them, then cut them out. And we would have a nice layout. Now the other thing I do want to note is that it will put it right up against the edge. So it rotated it 90 degrees and put it on its edge. Wow, I'm just not too great with the mouse today. So each one of these, again, they're individual, but their groupings stayed in place. Why is that? Well, because the last time when I clicked grouping, I didn't group them correctly. So there you go. There is how you do an array. You can either do it manually by telling it how many you want, or you can do it by nesting, which will give you a result. Now the other thing I wanted to show you, just because I think it's kind of cool. So let's drag this out. Top left. We'll rotate it, put an interval on it, but we're going to mirror it. What does that do for us? It mirrors it in every direction. So we have 19 rows of 7 columns. Now that's pretty impressive with a millimeter in between each one. If we go to vector, it really is mind-boggling how it lays this all in together and nests it. Now with 1 millimeter, that doesn't give us much regard to our kerf. I would probably put that at like 2 millimeters. But it'll change the number of rows we have. But overall, I'd have to say that that's pretty nice. Now, one of the things that I did with the mirror was I had it rotate. If I don't rotate it, well, it comes out with the same amount on mirror. Now what if we rotate it 180 degrees? Still the same amount. But you can see that it rotated this 180 degrees. So at any rate, this gives you an idea of how you can nest items of the same type over and over again. Save as much material as you can. And basically give yourself the ability to cut as much out of a piece of acrylic or wood or any other material as possible. And with that, I will say adieu. I'm not French. But thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.